Good evening, everybody. So today I'm finally going to share with you how I like to modify my stamped cross stitch kits that are generic. And I'm sorry if you hear my computer going boo-doo, boo-doo. I don't know what it's doing. It's disconnecting and reconnecting something that's plugged in, but I cannot figure out what. But anyways, this is a method I use for generic stamped cross stitch kits. I guess you can use it for counted ones as well, as long as they are this generic kind of brand. But I'm just gonna go over what I like to do to improve it, how to kind of get rid of this and add in my own backstitch. So I don't currently have one that has backstitch yet because I have not worked on this a lot, but I did start working on this one a little bit because you can see it's bolder, cleaner imaging than a lot of the other ones may be. So I figured starting this one and showing you on here would be the easiest way to go about this. So you can see, let me zoom in, how right here and right here look like solid colors, which is what you would expect. But you can see that I have sort of redacted the random blocks that are kind of sporadically placed in there that kind of mimic the backstitching. I really wish my computer would shut up. Come on, computer, stop beat-a-booping. So right here, figure out how to get this done. Okay, you can see I didn't do any of this back here. I got rid of it completely. And you can see right here that I just stitched right over this. And the reason I stitched right over that is because on the main image, you can see that that's a solid line that would easily work as backstitch. And so what I did up here, the pattern has this color right here, like it has the kind of diagonal singular squares that went under that bright blue. But the bright blue wasn't necessarily there to completion. So you can see right here that I am still working over that, and that would have been, see those lines? I'm just working over those because I can backstitch those in. And I did adjust how this is sitting because it did not come down to the edge of this tiny little star here. But you can see right up here that that blue goes under that line. And sorry, I still got hair dye staining my nails. You can see that light blue goes down a little bit into that crease of the star. So I just adjusted for that and I brought my stitches down. So you can already see how this is setting me up to do backstitch. And another thing that I will point out is this kit. Here's the colors. And those are all beigey whites. This kit did not come with yellow. It only came in pinks, but the pink they used for this was not matching the value I had wanted to use for it. So what I did was I got this as a free kit. You know, for some shops you buy a certain you buy a certain amount of kits and then they'll give you one for free. And it had a pale yellow in here, but I tucked it in the bag with the colors that are actually for this kit. And if you've seen my other videos, I also had this large My Melody generic kit, and the printing on it was not usable, not because of washing issues, but some other floss, and it had a bunch of pastel yellows in it as well. So what I did was I removed the color this was labeled as off of my thread card, and I replaced it with this pale yellow. Now, I'm not looking for specific DMC codes or a perfect match. I'm just using what I have on hand, but I also do have quite a bit of my own backup floss, which matches the brand they use in these kits, that I can draw from if I don't have kits that I plan to recycle. And I believe I did that down here as well. And down here was, I think there were only like 2 or 3 of blue. Maybe more, maybe less, but I did adjust that as well. I also got rid of a line that was here because I can backstitch that line. So I have been switching out my colors. If the color suggested for the area, like you can kind of see what's where, like this big strawberry is right up here. So I've just been going with what's in the kit, if it's suggested or if there's a lot of it, because you can see right here. These are the same blue, but in the kit, the blue they want you to use here is darker than the blue they want you to use up here. And in the kit, this blue is lighter in the kit than it is shown in the image, so I will likely swap that out for one that is a bit darker than this blue here. So let me show you how you go about getting rid of those extra 2 or 3 squares that add a random color that you can get rid of if you want to just backstitch over these. My computer is driving me crazy. So up here, how far can I zoom? So right here, you can see this is kind of where they mimic that outline, but these colors they're kind of sparse, far few in between, and they don't necessarily match the color of the outline. Ideally, this would all be one solid color that matches the outline on the image, but it is not. So what I do to decide which one I can replace with this color, because we're getting rid of that line, to decide if I'm going to replace this outline with this color or this color, I will go to my legend here. I'll go to my legend, find the symbol, and then find it on my card. If that color is close to this, I will just replace it with this outright, because that eliminates some of that, what do we call it, confetti. If it's a blue shade, then I will swap it with the blue that 21 is. There are going to be several different shades of the pinks or the blues that are going up through here, along with pops of the color of the initial outline from the original photo. And the way you can determine on if you're going to replace it with this color or the color that sits here is the shape. Give me one moment. So down here you can see I put 3 because that's what looked closest to the image, which is down here. See how it's just like a little triangle there? I put 3 blues to mimic there, and I believe these were just different shades of pink and then 1 blue. So what I did was I compared all of these, or you can just go off the photo itself, and you need to decide what ones can you get rid of to where this is still going to be shaped. And you can see that I just got rid of those 3 in the corner, and I replaced them all with this blue because that's what it shows on this image, is it's the same blue. So the problem with doing this method is you will need backup floss You will need patience. You will be checking back and forth between your legend, your floss, and your canvas, just to kind of make sure you're getting what you need to get. And up here was a bit of a challenge for me. So at this point, I just kind of redacted what the pattern was telling me, because the photo was showing me that something else was up here. And these programs also do make mistakes, which I did not mean to cover up before showing you this, but I will show you on the paper pattern. So here you can see I'm still covering up a line. So look, this is what I covered up. This is what I have left cover up. This right here, that is not on the photo. Let me show you. There is nothing at the end of this backstitch to indicate that there is a big blue square down there. So I think the program just kind of picked up on that slight shading from smearing on the image and decided, okay, well, there must be a big blue blob there. So you also have to make sure that you're constantly referring back to your image to make sure that what you are covering up is not necessary. So what I'm essentially doing is ignoring every outline I see, and I am focusing on what best shapes the image of the colors in the center. I will not do any stitches up here once I get to that flower. I'm not going to do any stitches that are that dark pinky purple. I'm going to cover that up with the light pink that goes underneath it, because I can backstitch those on. And that's what I'm planning to do. Now, I do think this girl is going to be a little bit difficult, because this looks like it would be maybe 5 stitches total, which would probably make up the size of her foot. And I'm basing that off of me getting this down here with only 3 stitches. Now, this is a flawed technique, but if you put in the dedication, you can make a pattern look far more accurate and add backstitch to kind of get that really good detail in there and make your kit your own. There are other colors I plan to be swapping out in here. I don't really remember right now off the top of my head, but I can assume right now that I am going to be switching these to a more yellowy, dirty yellow, because like I said, there's no yellows in my kit, and all I've done is replaced this one so far. So I am likely going to take the color I used here and put it up here on the moon, and just kind of move the low lights over to where the matching low lights are on other parts, just to kind of make sure there's some sort of consistency. But with those stars in the background where they're kind of cast over by a shadow, I am going to need to find a dirtier version of this yellow, a darker, more muted version. And I'm just going to continue this back and forth. Now, it will be hard with things like this, because you will have some there, but again, that will just come back to you going back between your image, your paper pattern, your legend, and the floss colors. Again, this is a lot of work, so this is definitely not for someone that just wants to sit back and relax. This is for if you really want to make your kit pop. But you will have to pay attention when you finally get to the backstitching portion, because you will have to remember these are separating different strawberries. So other than that, I'm not really sure what else to say about how I've been going about this, other than creatively adjusting the shapes of some pieces. But you can already see that this looks more like this, but obviously without the lines. That looks more like the image than what all of this randomness would be, because they also put a lot of random speckling up in here. Now, some of that is yellow dots, and you can see right here even the smallest of spaces can have so many different colors, which is why we find so much confetti in these kits. But realistically, if you're looking at the front image, right here is that dot. There's not two different colors in there because this is a digital painting. There is only yellow in there. So that yellow is likely going to be this yellow. And if not, it's going to be a pinky yellow that kind of looks like a blend of these. So maybe like an orangey pink. So really, it's up to you. And if you don't want to buy floss to do this, but you have kits you'd like to recycle, swap out your colors for whatever you have, whatever you want. Because honestly, I could have kept these stars pink, which is what the floss was calling for. But this image is telling me that there needs to be some tints of yellow in here, because that is what is in the image, but that is not what the floss is giving me. Now, I understand the different saturation values in the floss they give you in these kits. That's fine, but when they kind of remove an entire color, I don't like that, and I feel like the yellow is a very important contrast. Now, you don't have to swap out for similar colors to your image. You could even just take the values out of this and find the same value in a different color. So if I wanted to make these red, this would be a dark red. I would get a lighter, creamier red, maybe like pinky red. And then I would go to maybe a bubblegum pink here. So you can just alter this however you want. But that is how I am going about my kits. I am going to simplify my pattern, my canvas, and then I am going to return and add all of my backstitch in later. And don't worry, it's cross stitch. You can always undo it if you need to. And if you're using your own floss anyways, just use a thread ripper or seam ripper, whatever it's called. Because at first when I did all of this, I used the original color they gave me. And I decided, yeah, I don't like that, because it just looked like a completely pink star and it did not resemble close enough to what the image I thought I was purchasing had. So that is all I have to share with you guys today. If you have opinions on this, let me know. If you have questions, I will do my best to answer them. I will post photo progress of this as I go along. Once I finish out this complete leaf section, which is going to be this leaf right here, I will put the back stitch on before washing, and I know that's not the best idea, but for the sake of speeding this along and kind of giving examples when I can, that is what I will do. So I will be working to finish this, and then I will do the back stitch, take a photo, and share my examples with you guys. Alright, yeah, sorry, I'm doing this. The leaf comes out here, because I was just thinking how I didn't see that, but that's right up in here. So I will get this part done. I will add my back stitch, and I will show you guys the difference from this, the image, and the printed part of the pattern. So let me know what you guys think. Would you do this? Do you have the patience? Let me know what you guys think. If you like this video or think this information is helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and let me know, because I would love to try and create original content that you don't really see on many other cross-stitch channels. I want to try and stand out as best as I can and give people a reason to want to come back and watch me and to want to subscribe. So any feedback is helpful, and if you try this, let me know. Show me. Email me a link. I leave my email at the bottom of every video. Well, thank you for listening to me go on about how I want to improve my kits, even if I don't plan to do it all of them. So I'll see you guys in the next video. I will be having a review any day now, so keep watching. Bye, everybody.